Today we're going to work on sketching out a face in proportion, and this will be panel number 1 of 3 for our project. So we're going to treat this as a final drawing. What that means is that all guidelines and really any drawing that we do today should be as light as humanly possible. I'm not really going to show you how to draw the facial features today. We just want to make sure that they are in proportion to the face. So what that means is making things the right size in relation to the whole. Okay, so we're going to start by having our name on the back side of our paper, flipping it over and making our paper go vertically. Okay, so taller than it is wide. Now we're going to be using pencil and also a ruler to set up some of our guidelines. Okay, the first guideline I'm going to go ahead and do. Guidelines, you are going to draw them whisper light. Okay, like the lightest you can possibly do. I am going to make mine darker just so that you can see them. Okay, so I'm going to find the center point and create a vertical guideline like so. Okay, the next thing I'm going to go ahead and do is do about a finger width down from the top of your paper, or a thumb width. Thumb width would work just fine. Okay, so something kind of like that. All right, and then from this light notch right here, we're going to measure 4 inches down. Okay, so I'm going to line up my ruler with that notch, these longer lines with the numbers on the side. Okay, these are the inch marks. You're going to go ahead and put another mark. Okay, so I lined it up with that first notch that I made at the 4-inch mark right here. Okay, so again, notches like so. All right. Now, in order to draw our face in proportion, what we're going to go ahead and do is, again, keep all of these lines as light as humanly possible. And what we're going to do is start with the base shape of our head, which is an oval. So an oval is an elongated circle. So it's kind of like top and bottom of the circle were pulled ever so slightly, okay, to be elongated. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold my pencil back a little bit further, and I'm going to have my index finger on my pencil like so. And what I'm going to do is use my whole arm to go around multiple times lightly, okay, hitting both the top and the bottom of these notches. Okay, so you're going to see me, I'm going to go around. Sorry, I keep hitting my stand. Okay, going around many times, super lightly, okay, to create that oval or that egg shape. Okay, now with all of these light lines, okay, what I'm going to go ahead and do is determine which of these will make a good oval shape. This one right here, where my, I just kind of got off course, I'm going to take my eraser and erase that line. That line will not work for my perfect egg shape. Okay, this line in here cuts it a little bit too close, so I'm going to erase that one. So essentially you're picking and choosing from these lines that you created, okay, what might make the perfect egg shape. Okay, I have found that even as I continue to draw, that it's really hard for me to create that oval shape in one go. All right, so going around many different times and choosing from those set of lines kind of helps me create that preliminary oval shape. Okay, so again, erasing lines that I do not need. All right, so I have something that looks like this. So this is a perfect start. Okay, now this is kind of where the mirror comes in. So I am going to, again, lightly modify this bottom section of my oval. And so what I'm going to look for is basically lower ear down in the mirror, okay, for your jawline. Okay, so some people have sort of a flat part here for their chin. Okay, so like their chin bone kind of sticks out a little bit. And then on the side, angled up for a jawline. Some people have a more rounded face, and this would not be something that they would see too much. Okay, so I'm just modifying or changing this based on what I see in the mirror. Okay, If you don't see something like this in the mirror, you do not have to draw this. Okay, so I'm just changing this bottom section. And again, I'm keeping it super light. Okay, and again, I'm drawing it a little bit darker on here just so you can see what I'm drawing. Okay, next thing we're gonna go ahead and do is we are going to make the neck lines. Okay, now the neck kind of starts kind of underneath where your ears are, curves in ever so slightly, comes down and out. Okay, biggest mistake students make when sketching out a neck is they make it too skinny. Okay, so if you make your neck like this is actually too skinny for your head. It makes it look out of proportion. It makes it out of proportion. So we really need to make sure we make an appropriate size neck for the head that we have drawn. Okay, so you're gonna take your necklines from the side of your oval, curve it in ever so slightly. Okay, on both sides, like so. And then you're going to take it out, okay? Your shoulders are actually 3 head widths wide. So if you measure kind of in the mirror, do a little look-see in the mirror, width of your head, you can fit 1 head width on one shoulder, 1 for your actual head, and 1 for the other shoulder. Okay. So a neck width that looks like this is more appropriate or more in proportion for this style, this size head. Okay. So something that looks like that. Sometimes if you make the neck too long, you have what's called long neck syndrome, okay? And then it just, again, it looks out of proportion, okay? Next thing, we're gonna draw a series of guidelines here to get our facial features kind of in the right spot. So I am going to, at this point, keep these guidelines really super light, okay? Because we're gonna erase them later on. I'm gonna pick up my ruler, locate the 2-inch mark. So I've lined my ruler up with the top notch of my oval, 2-inch mark, okay? I'm also going to, at this point, create a really light guideline at that 2-inch mark, okay, using my ruler. Lighter is better, okay? So this line here is actually going to be the eye line. Okay, in just a couple of moments, we're gonna talk about that, okay? Now this bottom section, if I shift my ruler down, okay, I have this 2-inch section here from that center guideline down. So this section here is 2 inches. I'm gonna put another notch at the 1-inch mark on that center guideline. Okay, so something that looks like that. I'm gonna create another light guideline there. Remember, lighter with these guidelines is better because we're just gonna erase them, okay? And then last but not least, okay, you're going to line up your ruler, again with that second guideline there, and locate the 1/2-inch mark. Okay, so the 1/2-inch mark is halfway between the end of your ruler and 1. And then you're going to go ahead and create that last really light guideline right like that, right like so, okay? All right. So we're going to talk about what those guidelines mean in just a moment. All right, so this is at the 2-inch. This is 1. This is 1/2-inch. Okay. This will be the eye line. This will be the base of the nose, and this will be the mouth. Okay, you don't have to write any of these notations. I'm just going to remind you as we go along what we're doing. Okay. So this top guideline is actually, believe it or not, for your eye line. If you look in the mirror and you put one hand directly on top, okay, the very tippy top of your head, and then one hand sort of underneath your chin, and move your top hand down to your eye line, you'll notice that your eyes are actually in the center of your head, okay? A lot of times students will try when they're doing a portrait, they're going to try and put the eyes up here, okay? This, when you draw your eyes above this center guideline, you're actually putting your eyes in your forehead, okay? So we're gonna talk about forehead and hairline and how it can make it a little confusing when you're looking at yourself in the mirror where to put these. But your eyes are actually gonna go in the center of your head and they're gonna go on this guideline, okay? Now to keep those eyes in proportion, we want to, again, look in the mirror for another quick measurement. you can actually fit 5 eye widths across your face. So if you measure from tear duct to the corner of your eye, you can fit 1 eye width on one side of your eye, 1 eye width for your eye, 1 eye width between your eyes, 1 eye width for the other eye, and 1 eye width for the other side. Okay, so what you're going to start to do is see if you can figure out a general measurement, okay, where you can measure by locking your fingers in place. This is a little bit large. So that you have 1 eye width on one side, 1 for your eye, 1 eye width between your eyes, and 1 on the other side. This might be as close as I can get it for today. Yep, okay. The main thing you want to look for is that you have about 1 eye width between your eyes. Right now, mine is not centered, okay? So see how this is like shifted this way? I'm okay with that for right now, okay? But what you're going to do from there is you are going to create, again, very light football shape. Don't obsess about this right now. It's not worth your time, okay? But just create the general outline of these, okay? That we will add some detail to a little bit later on, okay? So this is where the eyes need to go in the correct size, okay? Now from your tear ducts down to this next guideline, okay? Or sometimes even inner iris down, okay? This is about how large your nose is, okay? So your nose, if you measure from the bridge of your nose, which is the part between your eyes, the most narrow part between your eyes, to the base of your nose, you can actually fit 3 nose lengths down your face, okay? If you pop your measurement for your nose up 1, okay, you'll notice that it hits your hairline, so where your hair grows out of your forehead, okay? 1 nose length for your actual nose, and 1 nose length underneath. So if I take this nose measurement and pop it up 1, right here is actually where my hair grows out of my forehead, okay? So all of this up here represents hair, all of this represents forehead. Now obviously if your hair covers your forehead, you would draw hair within this forehead space, okay? But that just gives you an idea of where your hairline could start if you don't have bangs, okay? So I'm drawing these really light guidelines here, okay? And then remember, okay, this line here, the second line, represents where the base of the nose is, okay? So you're going to draw, I would keep this super light, larger sphere, okay, 2 smaller spheres. And again, don't obsess about this right now. This is just showing you where this goes. Okay. So something that kind of looks like that. See, I'm obsessing. Can't do it right now. Okay. Now this last guideline here is actually for the lips, okay? So if you look at your inner iris, so if you are staring straight in the mirror, your iris is the colored part of your eye, inner iris down, okay? All the way down to that 3rd guideline is going to be about the width of your mouth, okay? So your mouth, you can make it slightly above that guideline, okay, if that guideline looks a little bit low. Here we go, okay? But you can sketch this out. This is about the width of your mouth, okay? Now remember, most people's bottom lip, not all, is a little bit larger than the top. It also sticks out a little bit more, okay? So this is what I have for my my lip line. And again, this is not an invitation to obsess about your drawing right now. It's just to try and figure out where it goes in the right size, okay? So I have something that looks like this. This is fine for right now, Next thing I'm going to go ahead and draw is I'm going to go ahead and sketch out my ears. Now, your ears are actually the same size as your nose. So from this top eye line to the nose, base of the nose line, is actually all ear, okay? Now, a lot of us have hairstyles where we don't really see our ears, or we might just see the bottom section of it. So students tend to just draw this like this really small ear down here and call it a day. A lot of times your hair covers your ear, so it's actually a lot larger than you think, okay? So keep in mind, a lot of people may have a hairstyle that covers most of their ear, okay? Now, a couple things. If you have a hairstyle that covers your forehead, we're going to talk about that in a moment, okay? But I just want to take a moment with you all and talk about eyebrows. So eyebrow shape and size are unique to you, but they do start over your tear duct, kind of arc over, and are about the width of your eye, okay? So something that looks like this, all right? I'm not gonna obsess about them right now, but I just want you to know where they go, okay? Now, if you have a hairstyle or a hairline where you see your forehead, okay? Remember, one nose length up is going to be where it hits, okay? So something kind of like this, all right? Now, if you don't have a hairstyle that you see your forehead, okay, and your forehead, you know, is obscured by bangs or so on and so forth, draw it as such, okay? Now, most people are going to have a hairstyle, okay? See how my headline here, okay, I've got that egg shape. Make sure your hair poofs away from your head like so. If it covers your ears, okay, you're going to make that happen, but give your hair some volume, okay? If you just stick to that general egg-shaped line, it's going to look like you have helmet hair, okay? So spend some time making your hairstyle look unique to you, okay? If you can nail that, that is essentially what makes your portrait look mostly like you. Okay, at this point in time, once you've mapped out where the features are and the correct size, you can start to erase those guidelines, okay? All right, then what you can also start to do is look for the details that you see in the mirror, okay? So all the different parts of your eye, your lips, okay? And if yours looks semi-human by the time that you are done, I would say that's a really good day.